I sketched this lizard enclosure on a piece of printer paper in about 2 minutes. Let's bring it to life. Okay guys, before I start making the lizard enclosure, I just gotta clear out this little area over here. I'm gonna pull those propane tanks out, move this universal rocks and all the junk back there, so we'll have some space, and the enclosure is gonna go right in this corner right here. Okay, it's all cleared out. All I have to do is pull the weeds, and then let's start building. So here I have a 6-foot piece, and since I want the enclosure to be exactly 6 feet tall, and it's gonna be on top of other pieces of wood, I'm gonna put this one here, mark a line, and then cut it. So then when this wood's on the top and bottom, it equals exactly 6 feet tall. Okay. Now let's do that with the other 6-foot piece. So now I have the two 6-foot pieces and then the two 4-foot pieces, which is going to be the top and bottom, and this is going to be vertical, so it's going to be 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide, 4 feet deep. So now I just got to screw these together. Let's drill those pilot holes. Now we just got to screw in the screws and repeat this step on all the other sides. All right, let's do the other sides. All right, so I finished that part, screwed it all in. Now I stood it up. So like I said before, these two cross beams are the 4-foot pieces, and then these two, one standing up, are 6 foot. So I'm just seeing how this is gonna be set up, but it's gonna be in the corner over there like that. It's gonna be covered with screen, and then the back will be covered with universal rocks background. So yeah, let's keep trucking away at it. I got to build at least another 1 or 2 or 3 of these. I can't remember, but let's get back to it. Okay, so I made a second one, and now I just have to connect them together with 4 4-foot pieces, and then that'll be the basic part of the frame. So now I laid those 2 parts of the frame on their sides, and I'm just trying to figure out what exactly to do here. I'm thinking that I'm going to do diagonal. I'm going to drill diagonal right here and connect the rest of the frame that way. So I'll test that out and see if it works. Okay guys, so I went diagonal with the screw. It seemed to have worked. So now I'm going to try to connect the other sides, and I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. All right guys, so this part worked. I did 1 diagonal screw on each side, and I might go from a different angle, get another screw in there. And I also might go to Home Depot tomorrow and get some, like, I think you call them brackets or whatever, just to brace the wood. So next, I just got to do another 4-foot piece right there, and then 2 more 4-foot pieces on the top. And then that'll be it for the frame, for the walk-in Frilled Dragon enclosure. Another thing, I would be filming each step, like using the tools and stuff, but it's been so hot out here that my phone keeps shutting off because of the heat. So I'm just giving you updates as I progress. Next update. So I finished the basic part of the frame. My next step here is I'm going to put little beams, probably about 1.5 feet, 2 feet all around the border down here. And that's because I want to keep critters out. And if the lizard is down on the ground and they run towards the walls or whatever, it's not going to be wire. It's going to be like a plastic or metal material. They won't be able to see through it, so they won't think they can get through it. All right guys, I'll show you when I'm done. They're gonna go pretty much like right here in between the wood. All right, so the next step here is to put 4 of these cross beams around that little edge right there. And the purpose of that is to keep critters out. And then I'm gonna put like a piece of metal or plastic lining the inside so the lizard can't see outside, like I said before, and he won't, grind his face on the wires. So I'll show you once that's complete. All right, so here's what we ended up with today. I'll have to finish this over the weekend, but we finished that little border right there. keep the critters out. The frame is done, and in my opinion, that's the hardest part. So tomorrow we'll start adding on the screen, make the door, and add everything else. All right, see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, it's the next day. Next step is to build the door. I'm gonna use these thinner pieces right here and probably do something like that, put hinges on, and I'll show you guys when that's done. So before I attach the door, I'm actually going around all the corners and adding these brackets just for some extra support. So I'm gonna do the 4 corners down here and then the 4 corners up here, and then we'll add the door. So I'm 3/4 done with the door frame. I'm just gonna add one of the hinges up here and then add the one at the bottom, and then I'm gonna add the last part of the door frame, which it's resting on right there, and we'll test it out. Hopefully it works. Check back in a couple minutes. All right, we got the door frame complete. Put the hinges on. Everything's looking good so far. So next, I gotta add the doorknob, the locks, and then we can add the screen, which is really the final part of it. And then after that, I'll probably cut this stuff and add it along the bottom border to keep the dragon from scraping his face on the wire and to keep little predators out. All right, so here's the door. Not bad, but not perfect. I put some latches on it. Now I just gotta put the door handle on, maybe a lock, and then we can finally start the screen. All right, so I added the door handle. So now finally, I'll get to adding on the screen, or galvanized chicken wire, I guess it's called. And so here's the galvanized chicken wire. A couple of my friends recommended it, so I'm gonna get it out of the package and start stapling it on. Seems pretty strong though. All right, so I flipped it. I'm gonna chicken wire the bottom and the top first, and I also realized that I messed this bracket up a little bit, so I'm gonna fix that real quick and then get started with the chicken wire. All right, so I applied the screen to the bottom. I actually left it a little loose because since this is gonna be the bottom, I'm gonna be covering it with pavers and then some substrate, and I'll be walking inside of it. So I didn't wanna make it too tight so it would snap or anything. So yeah, now I just gotta start doing the hard part, trimming all that one by one. Now I just gotta swing around and do the top, and then I can stand it back upright, and then I'll do the sides, the back, and of course the door. So I flipped it back upright, the bottom's on, and the top's on. Now I'm gonna go around the back, put the back in, and then the 2 sides I could actually do from in here, so you won't be able to see like the staples and stuff from the outside. So I have all 3 sides done, the top and bottom. I'll probably add a bunch more staples. Look at all that dirt I was laying on the ground. So now I just have to do the door and then the little part under the door, and then the enclosure build is complete, minus the scaping and other few things I have to do. I'll show you once the screen is completely covering the enclosure. The entire structure is complete. Got the door on, it's completely covered with screen. I kind of like the way it turned out. A couple of things that I wish I figured out better. I wish I could have got the screen a little tighter. It has a little give, but that's okay. It'll definitely work out. And then at the bottom here, this screen portion, there wasn't a flat place to staple to on the inside, so it kind of bows out. But that doesn't really matter because I'm going to be covering all that stuff with the piece of plastic that keeps the critters out. So I think it's going to do just fine. So there you have it, guys. An outdoor walk-in frilled dragon enclosure, 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and 4 feet deep. And this is the stuff I'm going to line the inside of the bottom with, that I was talking about earlier, so the dragon doesn't think he can run through the screen and hurt his nose, and also keeps things like cane toads out. And yeah, I think it'll work out pretty well. The next video I make about this enclosure, I'll be completing the scape and releasing my frilled dragon into it and giving them a much needed upgrade. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching Tommy's Reptiles.